What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be talking about a extremely goofy movie, which is the sequel to a goofy movie. So I just want to say this movie could pretty much be a standalone by itself. It doesn't really go off anything off the first one, let's say. Came out in 2000. Pretty much the same cast as the first Goofy movie, I'd like to say. So it starts out, Max is going to college now. It's been a few years since we saw Goofy and his son Max. So now the boys are going, Petey, Bobby, and Max are now going to college, and they're into the X Games. So they're into skateboarding, biking, and rollerblading. So yeah, that's what their thing is. And they're going to, I can't even remember which college it is. They're going to college because this year is the big X Games event, and they're gonna kill it at their events pretty much and come in first place and be the kings of the school as freshmen kind of deal. So that's their big plan. And Goofy's pretty much, like usual, sad that his son's leaving him. His little baby boy's leaving to college, and Max obviously can't wait to get out of his dad's hair like usual. But yeah, so it pretty much starts out, Max is packing for school, and Goofy is holding this teddy bear, and meaning that he's still his little boy, and he thinks he should still take this teddy bear to college. And Max pretty much throws it on the ground, and he's all mad and says, "I'm not a little kid anymore." And then later on in that scene, when Max is going to bed, he's about to pass out, and he literally grabs the teddy bear, and it shows, like, in Goofy's eyes, he's still like his little boy kind of deal, and he's like ready to cry. Anyways, the next morning, packed up and ready to go to college, and in a split second before Goofy can even give Max a hug and a kiss goodbye, they're gone like the wind. So then it pretty much goes to them on the road. They go through the woods, hit some bunch of cornfields, corn mazes, and boom, they're at their college randomly. And then it'll jump to Goofy pretty much. And Goofy right now, he's struggling with the fact that his son's gone. Like, his only, like, family is gone away from him for pretty much, he thinks, forever, or till Christmas pretty much, and he won't ever get to see him. And Goofy works at a factory now when we see him, so he makes toys. It's like an assembly line toy, just putting pieces together, putting them together, taking them apart, putting them together, fixing them, cleaning them, and just letting them roll on the assembly line. So he's daydreaming and thinking one of the toys is Max, and he accidentally knocks the conveyor belt speed to super fast, obviously, and then all the things start messing up, and then he ends up getting stuck in the conveyor belt, obviously, because it's classy goofy stuff, and that's how he ends up getting fired. So he's trying to come up with another job pretty much. So he goes to the, I don't even know, like, job search facility area on campus center. Let's just say that. So he goes there and finds out he needs a degree. He doesn't have any. Last time when he went to college, he didn't get a degree pretty much, I guess. So he was in there in the 70s, and they didn't have anything significant, I guess, when he went. So anyways, he said he hasn't been since the 70s, and then it pretty much jumps to him thinking about he should go back to college, and then he thinks he could go back to college and be with his little boy. So now we're at the point right now where Max and his boys are skating through a town. We know that Max is a very skilled skateboarder. He's showing off his crazy good moves. Their whole point on going to the school and winning the X Games is to prove that the Gammas, this one house that like runs the X Games pretty much, are just crap too. And the leader of that house is Bradley Upper Crust the Third. That took me a while to say. Bradley Upper Crust the Third. What the fuck kind of name is that? And he has a sidekick who is, well, I can't even name his sidekick's name right now. Tank. And he's a special significant. We'll find him later pretty much. So anyways, we have Max claiming his statement that he's ready to take on the Gammas in the X Games, and he's not afraid to do any kind of stunts. He's ready to pull all the tricks out for these boys. And so he's in class sitting down, and who shows up? His dad in a light blue suit wearing an afro. So now at this point, we pretty much get Max is like shitting himself. He's literally like gonna pass out. He's losing his mind how mad he is that his dad's here, and he finds out that his dad got fired and he needs a degree. So he ends up coming up with a scheme, try and get his dad off his back, because we have this montage for about 10 minutes of the movie where his dad's waking him up at 6 a.m., making him study all the time. and kind of like being his cock block to trying to ask girls out and stuff like that. And then we end up finding out that Max has this scheme to introduce him to the librarian. And as you know, the librarian ends up being his like kind of girlfriend through the whole movie plot, which is pretty cool to see. Movie. Wow, Goofy get a like girl pretty much, and it was cool to see that they go on a date. They meet at the high school dance at the cafe, and he pays the DJ to put on 70s disco music. And what's the song? Shake your groove thing, shake your groove thing, hey, hey. And he's just like doing the splits and stuff. It's so sweet. And he's just dancing off of the librarian. And I can't remember which part, but anyways, stuff happens the next day where he's all like, I think it's even before that. So he gets the date with the librarian, and Max is like doing all these crazy stunts out in the campus on the half pipe, and Goofy's just kind of like all dazed, confused that he got a date with a librarian that we just previously talked about. And boom, he crashes, walks right into Max, who's skateboarding, knocks Max off the skateboard, and Goofy starts doing all these crazy tricks like a goofster. And as you know, everyone just thinks he's amazing all of a sudden, like, because he can do all these crazy tricks. And Goofy's like, this ain't half bad. And then Bradley Upper Crust III comes up from the Gamma Squad and tries to steal him from thinks he could be a good fit for their squad in a way, and just mess with Max's head kind of deal. And so Max, at first, Goofy declines, saying he wants to be with Max, and Max says, no way, like, you should be with them, like, our whole group's, our spots, I can't talk right now, our spot's full, we don't need anyone. And that's just him kind of pushing his dad away, saying, I don't need you, like, get away from me. Like, Max wants his space right now, and that's all he wants. And eventually he'll realize that he needs his dad. Anyways, Goofy decides to join the Gammas, and then he ends up getting distracted from studying, and the Gammas are training him. And then it's pretty much just a little time jump, I do believe, for the X Games, where it's the first event to do the elimination rounds and stuff. So Goofy's up on the not the half pipe, but like just the trick area with all like different pipes and rails, and they put like a rocket on him to kind of like mess him up, but he does all this crazy tricks. I'm trying to think what else happens. Yeah, it's just like a big X Games. It's sadly that like no music really, no singing. That's my down part about it. And that's why I can't really talk about that much about it, because it just doesn't hit me that much. Like, I'll watch it randomly. I watched it just the other day. I can't even really remember. I think I might have watched it 6 years ago, maybe. It's been that long. And I want to say it's not as good as the first one, so, like, I'd rather, like, the first one you could watch anytime, like, any adult could watch. Like, this one, the second one, I feel like it's more for kids for some reason, but I don't know, like, I still get those... It's just to get those feel-good moments with the father-son moment where, so at the X Games, the big X symbol at the event, like, gets taken down, and it's, like, on fire and shit, and Max and Goofy and Tank are stuck down in there, and he ends up, like, lifting him up. They end up saving him, and then the Bradley Upper Crust is like pretty much in the lead and leaves his teammates in the fire while Goofy and Tank and Max save him. This is one of my favorite parts, where they just come up, all three of them are riding one skateboard, and then Goofy and Tank jump off, push Max, so he gets a speed to beat the Bradley Upper Crust in the end, pretty much. And Bradley Upper Crust pretty much has to face Tank in the end because he bailed on him, his friend. So I don't know. It just it just doesn't stick well with me, this movie, for some reason. That's why I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And that's just because I really like Goofy a lot. That's why I gave it a 5 out of 10. But I could give it a lower score possibly. Like, there's no really actually singing and songs in it and stuff. But it's cool because Goofy ends up with the gal in the end, the librarian, so I love that. It's my favorite part. Let me see if I'm thinking of anything else. Yeah, like, pretty much, like, if you're thinking about watching this with, like, a younger cousin or your kid, maybe, throw it on. Like, it's nothing too crazy. It's not, like, memorable, I'd say. maybe forgettable, I'd say. But anyways, it's goofy flick. If you like goofy stuff, I highly recommend watching it. It's has like a different pull to it than the first one, right? So this one, Max in college, they have the X Games now, and Goofy's in college trying to get his degree. And the good thing, one thing I liked about it is like Max gets mad at Goofy, and he gets all clustered and distracted while he's trying to write an exam, and he's not even able to write it. So I like how they kind of made that a thing where he's down sitting the exam and he just can't do it. He just gets lost in his own head because he knew that something's wrong with his boy kind of deal, and he ends up getting flunked out of the college. But in the end, he ends up graduating, huzzah, and Max pretty much says goodbye to his father, and they'll see them soon. And we see Goofy and his gal, the librarian, driving away. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know. It could be better. Definitely could have been way better. Like, the gap between the two, the first one and the second one, it's like 2000, and the other one was 1995, I think. So, 5-year difference. Usually this typical animation movie gap. So, I don't know. But, like, more quotes from the first one that's way more memorable. I feel like I'm just ranting on right now about stuff. But yeah, it has some 70s music in it, but nothing like too crazy. Just a bunch of goofy moments. So that's my review, guys. I hope you like it. It's not really that good. Sorry, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Peace.